So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, grab your coffee and if you wanted to share with me, links for that down below. And we are going to be talking about personal updates and advices of all type. And this is take 40 um, or 50. Um, It has been hectic since July last year. So, if you don't know, then I'm going to try to update you. In July last year, we had elections. And then after that, a political nightmare started all over again. As in, this is kind of like a nightmare that has been repeating itself without end, and it has like different kind of final bosses, and it's like you falling into the back rooms and you not knowing what. Yeah, kind of like that. Because every time that you wake up, you go kind of like, what? Yeah. So several things that have been happening since last year. Number one, uh, more people are leaving. Now, I have mentioned this before. One of the worst nightmares that you will have is not having a government, and the second one is not having people. And then you go kind of like, what? Before you even think about revoking this thing, I'm going to tell you the alternatives, okay? If you don't have a government, you will have all, and I don't mean all, like everything is on the table. Everything. From gangs, kidnappings, corruption by, if you were thinking that the government is corrupt, you haven't seen the ones that do not have government. All kinds of pollution, all kinds of collapses, and all kinds of immigration. And that will lead you to even bigger problems. And so July was sort of like a breaking point again. We have had several. And so when you have people that are emigrating from your country, then you will face xenophobia everywhere you go. You will also face now bigger bureaucratic problems, diplomacy problems, international problems, and documentation problems, which means that lawyers are going to have a field day with you and with everybody, especially international lawyers. Then, the people that stay behind, like me, will face even, I'm not going to say bigger problems because they're not bigger, they are just entirely different kind of problems. I was working on a project since September last year. I was even working with assistance from family members and all kinds of things, and I had invested a lot of time, and the project was on a stop until January. And then on January, it was dismissed entirely. So when you are in a situation in which you work in projects, you work and you work and you work, and then everything is just dismissed without you seeing one penny, it destroys you emotionally. And it also cripples you to a certain point. And so it also makes everybody surrounding you blame you, kind of thing. I don't know if they actually blame you, but you do blame yourself a lot. And so then there are even bigger problems, because in my case, September, I was supposed to start working on renewing my US visa with my daughter. We were expecting the US embassy to open again in my country in January this year, but that did not happen. Therefore, to renew the US visa, we had to go abroad. When you need to go abroad for anything, if you are with a minor, be prepared to have all kinds of meditation tools, all kinds of incenses and stuff to try to keep you calm, especially about not swearing every single moment and day. I had to go through lawyers and all kinds of things to get paperwork for my daughter to be able to travel with me. And it was insane. Everything was insane. At this point, I'm going to tell you the first advice, and it is, there are 3 types of people that you want to have on speed dial. These people, you need to know them, because these 3 people are the ones that will scam you the most if you don't pick them properly. The first one is going to be lawyers. I swear you need to have like 40 lawyers with you. It is insane. The reason being, well, you will have all kinds of field days with lawyers and problems. And so, you might get arrested because you were found with social media that was instigated on hatred or problematic or banned or whatever, and then boom. Or you might be all kinds of social media issues. Lawyer. And you need to know them. The second one is travel agents. And then you go kind of like, why will I need them? That's because if you're thinking that you can use websites, you can just be happy about AIs that will help you, pick up things, whatever it is, then I'm here to tell you that whatever you use, that it is free or nearly free, it's going to cost you, how about your car or your house? Or how about your car and your house? Sell it to pay that. Yeah, that's how much. And sometimes it might be even more. Reason being, well, okay, so you went to a house that you rented for vacation or whatever. This house is, whoever is renting it is not the owner. The owner shows up, then you don't know. Now you're in a legal thing. Nobody's helping you. You're on your own. For all I know, you're in a place that you don't know anybody. You're in a foreign country. You don't even know the language. But you are happy because it was free, or it was perfect in terms of pictures and all of that. scammed. Basically, you were scammed. There are other places that you go, and then all of a sudden you realize that, what the hell am I doing on the internet? What happened to that? Who record? Yeah. There has been countless social media videos that will tell you, I rented a place, and in this place, obviously it was used for human trafficking. It was used by God knows what. And then, for all I know, you might be involved into this situation because you were there. And all kinds of problems. And now you are involved into investigations and blah, 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 blah. Or you realize that there was a hidden camera on the bathrooms. You had, yeah. You get the point, right? All because you did not pick a travel agent. A travel agent will make sure that you get to a proper place that does not have these problems. Because if the place that they recommend, or the place that they are assigning you, have any kind of problems, they are the ones who are going to get sued. So no, they will make sure that everything is right for you. So whatever money that they are charging you, if they charge you $100 more, $400 more, what would you rather have? That, or you risking all of this drama, which will cost you your house? I'm not joking. Or it will cost you, now you having a record with the police and all kinds of things, and you being thrown into jail because you're trespassing to a house that is not yours because the owner did not allow it for that thing to be rented out, and there is no proof, there is no payment, whatever it is. So no, not worth it. And the third one is an agent, international agent for documentation. This is not a lawyer. Reason being, well, lawyers are for sorting things out between two people. You applying for filling up formulas for visas, getting pictures, going to interviews, things like that you do not need a lawyer. However, you need an agent. That agent is the one that tells you, hey, your documentation needs to be here. No, that's wrong documentation. That's not the picture. This is no, that's not the interview. No, that's not the clothing. No, that's not your, no, that's not your, yeah, kind of like that. So you will very likely need visas and all kinds of documentation for traveling. Even for boarding planes, you will still need documentations of all types. National documentation, national IDs, things like this. And this kind of thing is annoying, and they can be scammed. There will be people that will, it's a scam. There is a lot of scams that will happen there. And so you doing things on your own. I'm going to show you an example. I was at the US Embassy abroad, and there were more than 20 people in front of the line with me, and more than 3/4 were denied the visa. Now, if you spend thousands of dollars on plane tickets, documentations, hotels, transportation, food, all kinds of things, to get to this point and have your visa denied because you fill up the forms wrong, or because the policy changed overnight and you did not know, or because the documentation that you are traveling with is a copy and you need the original, or vice versa. You are bringing the original and they need a copy. Or you ended up doing the interview, but you did it wrong, um, because you were too nervous or whatever it is, or because you were taken aback because the questions that they were given were too personal, and you are kind of like, that's too personal, or you are scared to tell this information or whatever it is, especially when it comes to financial things. Because, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if you are in a country in which, people are very, very reserved, as in private, about how much money they make or whatever it is, and then you have somebody who you don't know, even if it is in the embassy or whatever, asking you, how much money did you make? You go, how much? I mean, in certain, your instincts will kick in, and then you might get nervous or whatever it is. And so, despite the fact that you're doing everything right, and it is not that you're wrong or that you're lying or whatever it is, it's just that you have reservations because you are thinking it's a security issue or whatever it is. And sometimes that will screw things over. It's kind of like when you go into a job interview, and then in the job interview they are asking you for certain things, and you're kind of like, why the hell do you want to know that? And and then you are taken aback or whatever, and then you disrupt the rhythm of the interview and things like that, and then you don't get the job, despite the fact that you might have been the best candidate. Reason being, well, you were taken off guard, so to speak. So you need these people, and the problem is that hiring somebody like that must be done with people that you absolutely trust. You cannot go online and say, oh, I'm looking for this type of agent. Oh, okay, that's it. I like the picture, I'm taking that. They will take all your documentations, like passports and all kinds of things, and then, ooh, congratulations, you were scammed. And now you're facing problems like somebody stole your ID, somebody stole your personal data, somebody stole So and these people, the ones that are dealing with documentation, they will tell you all of the scams that will happen to you when you are abroad or when you are traveling and you don't even know what the hell you are doing. Try to think about you going to a freaking other planet, because you going to other countries feels, and it is to a certain extent, like you going into another planet. These are people, but they speak another language. They behave entirely different. They eat differently. They buy things differently. They sell things differently. And hell, for all I know, they can throw you into jail for doing a lot of things that you didn't know that were illegal because they are normally in your country. So, if you're thinking, I don't care because I'm not going abroad, right? Because hard times, 100 people are there and 100 people will stay with you. When there is hard times, there is an extremely high probability that people will flee. People will migrate, including but not limited to your family and other people. And so if they travel, they are very likely going to try to get you to travel with them. And at this point, you need a lot of things. Also, if they are the ones who are leaving, you need to support them. And you need to have this, like I said, on a speed dial, because even if it is not your family, it will be your friend. And you don't want them to lose all of the money and everything that they have because they did not know. Or how about this? You can see a lot of videos on social media that I go kind of like, oh my God. So there is people that went like this. I asked the AI if I needed a visa, blah, blah. They say no. So I bought the plane ticket, I bought the hotel, I bought everything, I bought, whatever. I paid for everything, I bought everything. And I go to the airport and then I cannot fly Or worse, I do fly. And when I am in the immigration department from that country, they tell me I need a visa. I didn't know I needed a visa. I even asked the AI, and then I proved that I asked the AI, I don't need a visa. So obviously the immigration department is wrong. Right? I swear I have seen people fighting and even getting angry and aggressive and pissed at immigration departments or immigration officers or visa agents, the ones that are at embassies, not just from the US, but even from the UK or whatever it is. And people go, why are you denying me the visa? They don't have to tell you. But they just have to provide you with new rulings or a paperwork. They will print a paper and say, this is what you need to do. And then, people are kind of like, but I already did all of that. Right. The agent would have told you what they meant or why you failed. Or better yet, they would have told you, if you would have done this instead of that, you would have gotten the visa. So now you wasted thousands of dollars instead of having the agent that costed you 200 versus all of the thousands that you just spent and lost. And on top of that, now you're pissed, depressed, and now you gotta tell all of your family or whatever it is, oh, sorry, I did not get the application, whatever it is. Because a lot of these things have age requirement. Sometimes they have gender requirement. Sometimes they have other requirements like medical things. Sometimes they will have other requirements that is not even that, but also the agents will be in the loop and they will know what I mean. Sorry, I got interrupted. Anyway, like I was saying, this type of 3 people, you want to have references from people that you know personally. If you're thinking, no, but I can have the social media, whatever. No. No. It has 1,000 reviews. No. Personal. As in, you can physically meet these people. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about their clients. As in, the godmother of your baby left through these people. And she has good recommendations. That's it. Or somebody that you really trust, like your neighbor, your sisters-in-law, your auntie's best friend, then sure. But other than that, no, don't trust anybody, because the probability of you being scammed is more than half. If you're thinking more than half, and if you have more than half that says you're wrong, what are you going to do about it? So protect yourself, which means that I'm going to tell you that you want to see top 10 videos, as in top 10 videos again about these things. Number 1, social media scams per year, meaning top scams that are being done first quarter of 2024. And then you go, but that was last year. Yes, but you want to see those things year by year by year. It should be at least once a year, because something that was done for scamming people last year is not something that, if people go kind of like the criminals will go, oh, this one doesn't work, so we're going to create a new one next month. And then 6 months from now, people will entirely forget the first one. And so now they go back to way number 1. So they have 100 ways to scam you, and they go 1, number 7, number 20, number 7 again, number 20, number 40, number 20 again, number 1 again, because they have to renew themselves. And a lot of the times, especially old people or very young people, will fall for any of those 100 ways. And so the scam videos should be done at least once per year. Ideally, it should be done once quarterly or even monthly. Okay? You want to know what is the current trend for scamming people. Because if you don't know, and you have more than half of the probabilities of you being scammed, right? And people that have been scammed, now the scams can be happening on social media. The scams can be happening with cash and gold. And then you go, how the hell can you scam people with cash? Honest to God. Okay, so let me explain. You go to a bank, an actual bank, physical bank. You withdraw money. You go out, and then you go to jail because the bills that you have are counterfeited or they are fake. And then you go, what do you mean they're fake? I just got them from the bank. Congratulations. You cannot prove that you got those bills from the bank. And you is your word against the bank that has probably 50,000 lawyers at their disposal. And they are the best. While yours, no matter how good it is, now you need God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit to help you out to get out of that one. Because despite the fact that you're telling the truth, you were scammed, but now you are paying for it. So, congratulations. At this point, you have to know what are the scams that are happening with gold, because you go to a jewelry store and they tell you this ring is $4,000 and it is gold. You take it home, you use it as a heirloom and all of that, and it turns out that it was just painted with gold and it is worth $40 at most. And when you need it to pawn it or whatever, you can probably get $20. And then you go, but this is a ruby. Right. But this is right, lady. I'm sorry, but did you not know that this is plastic? But I got it in a jewelry store. Again, your word against them. Who do you think is going to lose? And so, you want to know what those scams are. And those are going to definitely become a huge problem. Because if you're scammed with those, you can actually go to jail. And let's say that you went to the bank, you got the money, you went to buy something, and then the other person gets, taken away by the police, and they go, I got that money from her. And then they're like, I got it from the bank. You go to jail. Why? Well, the bank is not supposed to have fake currency, but they do. And so what can you do? Well, several things. Carry a pen, learn what the currency is, carry one of those machines that you can check the bills, and check it in the bank. Check it in front of the person. So if you're buying anything, especially with bills of 100, my God, the bills that are 100 are the ones that are, oh God, they are insane. And that is why abroad, you carrying bills of 100 might mean that you are a scammer. And so they won't take bills that are 100 in a lot of places. And so you want to understand this thing and you want to use that machine, test it, and then you say, okay, I can buy it for you. And that way, if you're buying with somebody else and you go, I'm sorry, lady, but you were scammed. But I was in the bank. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sell you the merchandise and I'm not going to throw you into jail, but I'm going to tell you that that bill is fake. And if you're in the bank and you're recording, you can say, hey, I'm going to, with this recording, I'm going with the police and I'm suing the bank. And then, at this point, you are the one who is in power and you can actually uncover these kind of things. However, now you became the target of a lot of parties that right. You want to know. You honest to God want to know. So watch those type of videos. There is also all kinds of dramas, like cash is illegal. And then you go, cash cannot be illegal. Right. Cash is being illegal in a lot of places. And so if you are, caught giving cash, congratulations. You just went to jail for that. So, again, speed dial lawyers. And so, and not just one, you want to have like a team. And then you also want to understand scams with transportation services and apps. And then you go, what do you mean transportation? How the hell can you? Yeah, I'm going to try to explain to you several things. People who are 50 or more, you go into a train station or even plane, you paid for a specific seat, and then the seat is next to another one, and then the person that is in this side will not let you go through. And then you go, I'm sorry, madam, or I'm sorry, sir, can you please move because I gotta go to next to you? And then the person goes, I won't move, get out. And now, flight attendants or train station attendants or the attendant or the person that is there, sorry, can you please move? No, I'm not moving. I'm not dodging. That person cannot go through my seat because I paid for this seat. And yeah, but you gotta move because that person has to go through. Yeah, I'm sorry, not moving. And now you are out of seat. Because who is going to fight these people? Especially since they are older. And so, sorry, I got a cough attack. Yeah. Later, there are issues with the seats. There are issues with shaming you when you get a seat and you don't give it up for somebody else. So, for example, you are young or you paid for a specific seat in let's say that you're traveling in the airplane or whatever, and then you are in the window because you paid for it or because you were there first or because you were doing the web check-in to confirm your seat, which you can be done, you can do it the prior to the flight, before 24 hours, when you have an agent, they will ask you what seat do you want, and they will try to confirm the seat with you and the airline and print the seat before you board the next day. In some instances, you can do that. In some instances, if you want a specific seat, then you can actually pay a little bit more, but you are certain that you will get that seat. But when you get there, there is other people that go, oh, we are separated from the group, blah, blah, blah. And then now you have a lot of issues because you are going to be asked to give up your seat for those people. Worse, if these people are obese and they need 2 seats rather than 1, you are out. I'm sorry, what? You are out. But you are out. Why? Well, because the obese people need 2 seats, not just 1. And you're out. And you paid for the tickets and all of that, but you are out. And then you go, but you're out. Period. You will have all kinds of issues. All of them. The only way that you can avoid these things is when you ask for the policy of boarding. You see, if you have everybody boarding at the same time in an airplane or a train, then it's mayhem inside because everybody goes whatever. However, if you have the flight attendants that go, we are calling only the last seats, as in the last 4 rows. And then, if there is a problem within the 4 rows, they will fix it because they have very small amount of people that are allowed into the unit, whether it is a train or whatever. And they are doing this in orderly fashion. And so then also it's going to get better. Because try to imagine if you have 40 people trying to get in and they are clocked in the first entrance. And then everybody's trying to get in. There is a chaos because people want to get in. They have to leave on time. They have to do whatever, blah, 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 blah. But if you go orderly, only the last people. So only 10 people. The flight attendants go, we are 10 people, not moving. See, it's easier to manage 10 people. That you are inside the plane, and then the flight attendant or the attendant in the train can say, get out. You are out. Because you have the aisle that it is clean, you don't have a lot of people, you don't have a lot of issues. And after you have boarded the last area, you go to the middle area, and then you go to the front area, and then you go all the other ones, okay? And then, when you have orderly that way, if the policy is the seat is assigned so everybody can get in, and so now you will have a lot of scams because people will tell you to give up your seat. They will shame you into not doing it. You will have a lot of issues. Oh my God. And then, like I said, lawyers. The next scam for this kind of thing, it might be, okay, so you are not calling a company, taxi company, but rather you just went into an app. An app means one person with you. If that person has any kind of issues, like the car broke down, or they don't want to take you because they want to cancel the ride because that way they can get a cancellation fee from you despite the fact that they don't want to take you, and whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. So basically they don't care because it is an app. What the hell? They don't give a damn. And so, okay, so now you need to go to the airport and no one can take you. And it is rush hour and now you miss the flight. You can try suing the app, or you can try suing whatever it is on the other side, but like I said, drama and all of that. You could have avoided all of that if you call a freaking taxi company. Why? Well, the taxi company has several taxis, and they will make sure that one is there on time because they are a company and they are several taxis. If something happens, they are ruined because of their reputation. And at the same time, if the taxi A cannot take you because they don't want to, they are canceling, they are in the bad mood, their car broke down, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They have 25 other taxis that they can, send to get you. It's better. And all you need, phone, not an app. But phone. So scams. And why are you being scammed? How can you trust apps and all kinds of these things when they have issues? Are you meant not to use them? No, you can use them. I'm not saying don't use them. Because in certain things, in certain instances, you're meant to use them. For example, if you are abroad or whatever, you don't know anybody, then okay, use the app. However, understand that whenever there are apps, whenever there is a social media, it's easy to just post a picture that it is fake and then and so there is a lot of scams that are happening with certain apps for these things, because you hire the ride and then they cancel, and then you have to pay for the cancellation fee because you are the one who is canceling, despite the fact that they are telling you that they're not coming because you need to get it in time. So now you gotta pay for the ride, and you also have to pay for the cancellation fee, and you gotta pay for a lot of things. Easier. Taxi company. And then you go, honest to God, we are ruining short, medium, and long-term everything. Because of this situation in which we are not getting human services. You need another human to help you. AIs cannot substitute human beings. They could provide support. There are 3 lines. 3 lines, okay? 3 of things. One is called helpers or support. The second one is called assistant. And the third one goes professional. By the way, at this point, I'm going to tell you that not even, if you talk to 1,000 human beings about these 3 levels, they don't know. But I'm an alien, kind of a thing. Remember, all of my friends says I'm a Jupiterian thing. I'm not a Venusian like most women. By the way, a lot of men are Martians, but I know a lot of men that are kind of like me, so they are also Jupiterians. They will probably get it. If not, well, try to get another Jupiterian to try to explain this to you. When you go into a house and you're going to work in the house, there is one called helpers. So basically, helpers are the ones that can do support. Sorry, I got interrupted. Helpers can be kids or people that just don't know a lot of things, but they are there for things that are not core related. So for example, your main job today is to cook. Now, the cook, as in the chef, the one who is actually making the food, will be the professional one, meaning the leader, the manager. Okay? This is the top. However, try to imagine that you are cooking, but you gotta stop cooking because you gotta do the dishes. Or you gotta, mop. Or you gotta go check the toilets. Or you gotta go and check for the cleaning supplies and stuff like that. You are doing the helper's work. Helpers meaning those things are extremely important because you cannot cook in a place that it is dirty or disorganized or has a lot of things that are just messing things up. That means that you need support. Side support. That is where the AI comes. AI is supposed to be support, okay? Support for your work. They are not meant to be professionals, let alone assistants. So, you're cooking. Now, you gotta have an assistant, meaning, okay, so I am seasoning this, I'm placing this, I'm doing this, but I need to have that peel, I need to have this cut, I need to go and run because I gotta get a specific type of milk, blah, 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 blah. So I need somebody that will go and help me do all of these things. Assistants are meant to be 100% humans and understand what the professional means. If I'm a chef and then I go, I need you to do this with this type of cut, the assistant has to know what a knife is and what type of cut that do you mean. Because if I need it sliced, but then they are doing minced, or I need it minced and they are doing cubes, or I mean like doing minced and they are smashing it. and if I say to the assistants, cook this until golden brown, they have to know what the hell golden brown means. And that is why they are assistants. These are people that are trying to get into the trade, but they cannot make decisions. It's like, I'm the chef. You are helping me. You are not supporting me. Supporting me means cleaning and everything else. That is my support. But you are helping me, But the decisions are mine. The responsibility is mine. The kitchen is mine. Okay? So, the AI cannot help you with these things because they are meant to support you. They are not meant to assist you. For assistance, you need another person that can communicate the same as you. Because the whole situation cannot be done without the specifications of the job. That means the specifications that are related to being human. That is not information. You have information, raw data, and then you have the interpretation of that data. The interpretation goes with experience. And machines and AIs cannot experience. You can go and film something, but that doesn't mean that you can experience it. And that is why you have this thing called cognitive deficiency or cognitive issues or cognitive topics, okay? Because you gotta experience things. Otherwise, you can do it perfectly. Yeah. But that was support. And when you are going to do anything, you need the proper support. And unfortunately, if you're going to travel, if you're going to do documentation, if you're going to do a lot of things, the support should be done properly, and the assistant needs to know all the hidden aspects of this thing. Because if, let's say that you need to travel, and at the airport, they change the policy of carry on, and now you're traveling with your laptop, and they tell you, oh, you cannot travel with the laptop because the laptop must be checked in. See, an assistant or a travel agent would have told you, hey, be aware that when you are there, the laptop must be checked in, because if you already pass certain point, your laptop is going to be on the trash. The agents at the airport will make you throw away all liquids. They will make you throw away, makeup, baby formulas, all kinds of things. And because you went through a certain point, security point, and after you pass the security point, you are supposed to know what you cannot take. If you took the laptop and you were not supposed to take the laptop, it's on the trash. An assistant, as in a travel agent in this case, would have told you. You didn't know, now it costed you. See, the AI is not going to tell you, these are the rules. And if it does tell you what are the rules, it's going to print, God knows how many pages or whatever it is. And most people cannot even read nowadays. And even if they could, it's very difficult to understand all of these things when they are from written in ways that are not simple. And so you want to understand these things. There are also levels. Right now we have level 0 in a lot of things, and they are meant to go up to level 6. Sometimes certain small tiny things go to level 7, but up to level 6. And the problem is that you have things that are meant for you to level 4 or level 3, and they are now being made in level 6 or 7. And then you go kind of like, what the hell? So for example, you have a toaster, the one that you're supposed to use, place the bed, press the button, turn on the panel, that's it. But now it's intelligent, and you're supposed to reboot it. That is a scam. Why is it a scam? Well, because how much money will it cost you to reboot it and to to have all of these things checked, or even clean it, or whatever it is, for having a toaster? It's not a scam done on purpose, but it is a scam because it is in the wrong level. Why? Because these devices will cost you way more money. It will probably even come with the internet, as in that toaster will not work if there is no internet. And then all kinds of other things. That means that it is taking money from you, despite the fact that it should have been just one-time investment. You bought the toaster, you pay for the electricity that uses, that's it. You're not supposed to be paying for the internet, the rebooting, the system, the repair, the spare part, the buttons, And so there is a top 10 scams for electronics. And that is because they are in level 6 or in level 5 or in level 7 when they are supposed to be in level 2 or 3. Sometimes even level 1 will work. And so if you are at different levels, you probably are being scammed. And the worst part is that most people don't even realize it. So now you need to see these type of videos. instead of watching, all kinds of videos that are about other stuff that don't help you. Now, are those videos easy to watch? Are they? I don't know. But I'm telling you, if you don't know, then it's going to become a problem later on. And so you want to have these videos checked at least once quarterly. And you also want to have these talked about or discussed with your family. Because if you're not Cam, but your daughter is, or your son is, or your wife is, or your in-laws are, yeah, so anyway. I also wanted to tell you that you want to watch videos that are about the top 10, changing the topic, not scams. I will talk about the scams later on, but I'm going to talk to you about the videos that I have been trying to see with my daughter lately, because like I said, we went through all kinds of dramas for the US visa, then the paperwork for my daughter to travel, and then all kinds of situations that. And so I told my daughter, okay, now we are going to try to see organizing videos so that you can try learning, organizing things, organizing tips for kitchen, organizing tips for rooms, organizing not the same as cleaning. If you're thinking that cleaning is not the same as organizing. There are two things, and a lot of people will put them or do them or make them work together. That doesn't work. There are people that are extremely good at organizing, but they're not good at cleaning. And vice versa. There are people that will do everything that looks spotless, but everything is out of place and is chaotic and is insane. And so you want to understand these processes for each room. And you also want to understand what is keeping you and your family from being organized. Now I'm going to tell you the main problem, like the main one, is the cognitive dissonance that you have in this aspect. Meaning, you buy things, you buy the devices, you buy the organizers, you buy the agendas, you buy whatever, thinking that the dress comes with the model's body. I'm sorry, you're buying the dress. You're not buying the model's body. Same thing happens when you are buying anything. If you're buying anything for organizing, you need to understand your own process, and you need to understand what is keeping you and what is keeping other people from being organized. So there is even companies that will try to help you out by cleaning services, organizing services, whatever it is. You can work with that. You can do a lot of things related to this topic. But the point is that you want to know that when you are not organized, you will have all kinds of issues. In fact, there is people that will go, let's just do minimalism, as in throw away everything from your house. And which brings me to the next topic. You want to have a lot of videos and see with your family about sorting trash. I mentioned this in the other videos. If you're going to throw away your jacket because it broke, then cut the fabric that you can use later for something else. Take the buttons take the accessories from the jacket that might be reused later. And instead of, sorting the trash to throw it away, everything entirely, get the parts that can go upcycling. Because those parts, if it was hard times, you are not getting them. Also, things that, things that were made 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you are now going to try to find them, and the quality from now sucks. And it is more expensive. And it doesn't even compare to the things that were made before. Things that were made before, especially by certain countries like Germany and Italy. Oh my God, they will last you 2, 3, 4 generations, and they will still keep going. And so, not even a comparison, okay? And the reason being, well, they have different kinds of design standards, they have different kinds of models, they have different types of ways to deal with the trash and all kinds of things. And so spare parts and others. And therefore you want to watch this type of video with your family. Because if you throw away everything, you will never have spare parts. You will always spend more with technicians. You will always have to replace everything. You will have, lots and lots and lots of issues later on. And if it is hard times, the trash services suck. For all I know, they will come once every other week through your house. And so now you need to do compost. You also may need to do gardening and all kinds of things. And you having to buy the compost and you having to buy the earth and the material and all of those are very, 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 very expensive when you can do everything on your own, through your own trash. Also, the skills that are related to these are, another set skill things that goes into the scavenging thing. And it can be turned into even an adventure. But in order for you to sort out trash and all of these things, you want to have organization. As in systems in place. And you want to understand these things with your family. Because if you are on your own, everything is just going to feel like you are going uphill trying to push the rock. And the rock keeps falling on you. And you will never get it up. Because it is a round thing. And no matter how much you push it, it will keep falling down with you. So, get it with your family. If you have a family. If you don't have a family, then I suggest that you watch these things and you also understand what are you going to do for your system to work on your own. Which you can make it work. But understand that you still need human contact with other people. And you still need other skills. And you still need all kinds of other stuff. So just because you're a lone wolf doesn't mean that you don't belong to the wolf race or family or whatever it is, okay? So anyway, thank you for staying tuned. See you again soon.